Hey guys, today we're going to learn about the influences on public policies. In our last notes, we were talking about the ways that a bill becomes a law, and we kind of ended with that question of, but where do the lawmakers get their ideas for laws? And they can come from lots of different places, but we're going to talk about some of the most powerful influences on lawmakers in our notes today. So hopefully you have a note sheet in front of you and you'll be taking some notes as we go through. So influences on the public policies and the lawmaking process. Legislatures make laws and shape public policy, but who influences the legislatures? Who influences our senators and representatives? Elected officials write laws and take actions in responses to problems or issues. So in our nursery rhyme land example, we as individuals had identified a problem in our community that we had the eggs falling off of walls, and we wanted to make a law about that. In the media, individuals and interest groups help shape legislation. Individuals participate in politics as one of the ways that they can help shape legislation. And we participate in politics when we vote, when we campaign for candidates that reflect our views, or when we run for office ourselves or volunteer in leadership roles. Those are all ways that we help influence the laws in our nation. Individuals also express their opinions, and we do that in many ways, including writing letters or emails to their representatives, demonstrating or protesting, and speaking up. I know that Janet Howell, our state senator, has come and talked to the school, and she said that for her office to take action on any particular issue, that they only need to receive 5 letters or emails, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but if they get 5 emails based on one issue, then her office will start looking into what they can do to solve that problem. We have our First Amendment rights of demonstrating or protesting, and also speaking up can be important. Sometimes it can be in individual conversations of just sharing our opinions and speaking our truth that we make a difference on issues and our communities as well. Individuals also join interest groups. So in our example here on the screen, it says, I really think that the government should do more to protect the environment. I wonder if other people feel the same way. So you can go to a group that believes in the same kinds of issues that you do. And by doing that, we kind of amplify our voice. So here's, this person joined an environmental special interest group. And special interest groups are basically just groups where they have a common interest in mind and are working towards common goals. So Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that's a special interest group. They're working towards the common goal of having less car accidents on the road due to drunk driving. There are animal abuse special interest groups trying to take care of, animals that are being abused, and there are all kinds of interest groups. It can also be businesses that group together and want to lower taxes on corporations. If they're working together in a group, then that corporate tax is an interest group. And that's basically what I just said. Special interest groups are groups of people with the same interests, and we even have my same example here. Walk Like Mad. So that's Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and their common cause is eliminating drunk driving. CARE is an organization that is working towards eliminating hunger and food, trying to provide food aid worldwide. That's a special interest. The National Rifle Association is a special interest group. That's a group of people with trying to give more access to guns to people. And, even big oil, that's a special interest group. So interest groups are also one of the main things that influence lawmakers, and they identify and research issues. So by having the example of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they are really identifying that as an issue. They might be researching the most effective ways to prevent that. They might be researching statistics on how it happens and when it happens, if it happens more in different areas. And they're giving all that information to the lawmakers and influencing their decisions on how they vote on particular things. Interest groups also hire lobbyists to influence the government officials of their position. In our example here, the lobbyist is saying, Senator, on behalf of the National Farmers Alliance, let me tell you what will happen to my clients as well as American consumers if you don't pass this bill. And the senator is saying, thanks for the information. I'll definitely consider voting for it. So those interest groups hire people to go and talk to senators, show them the research, trying to convince them one way or the other. And okay, here we go. So lobbying is just seeking to influence legislators to introduce or vote for or against a bill. And those are the people that are going and having meetings and sending emails and trying to convince the lawmakers. They got their name because before email and the telephone, they used to actually stand in the lobby of the building or the first entranceway. And as senators would come in, they'd be like, hey, Senator, this is how you should vote. And they'd wait in the lobby trying to get their attention to influence them. So more with the interest groups, they make political contributions to elected officials who share the same ideology. So in our example here, we've got the National Rifle Association who is giving donations to a politician who has, saying, I love gun rights. It could also be, you might be looking for somebody who is really supportive of protecting the environment, and a special interest group that their interest is the environment, then they might make contributions to that special interest group. And contributions equal money. So you want to write that on your note sheet that that's what we're talking about here when we talk about contributions. The media also has a big influence on the lawmaking process. They focus the public's attention on selected issues. We kind of talked about this earlier in the year in our political process unit, but they are the gatekeepers of what kind of news people hear. There are thousands and thousands of problems happening around the world, and newspapers really make some choices on what they are going to focus on. And when the media focuses on it, the public focuses on it, and when the public focuses on it, they pressure the lawmakers to look at those issues, and also that the lawmakers themselves are watching the news and getting information from the news. So the media has a big impact on what people are talking about and therefore what laws are being addressed. The media also provides a forum for opposing points of view to be communicated. So we can see, somebody who is in favor of building a border wall and the opinion of somebody who is not in favor of building a border wall. And hopefully by listening to both sides, we can become more informed on the issue. The media also holds government officials accountable. If one of our representatives who's representing us does something that we don't agree with or that we question, sometimes the media will, have them in for an interview and ask questions so that we get to hear their point of view, and we kind of hold them, that they have to answer for their actions, that they are held accountable. On the other side of that, the officials use the media as a way to communicate with the public. So in our example here, this is when Representative Boehner was the Speaker of the House, and he was in opposition of universal health care. And the interviewer here is calling him out on it and finding out why that's his opinion, but then he has a chance to explain himself too. And the formal powers of Congress are limited by the Constitution of the United States. So Congress tries to address as many problems as they can, but the U.S. Congress can only deal with federal issues. And later on in the school year, we'll talk about what our state and local governments do with their legislature. But we do have limited power based on federalism of what the U.S. Constitution, the U.S. Congress can do. Thank you for listening, and now you should do your cut and paste activity. Thanks for listening.